So here we are in the tunnel again, going 38 miles an hour and rapidly losing momentum because of the grade. I mentioned that I built this tunnel to make the construction faster so that I wouldn't have to grade the roadbed. And then when we come out the other side, we're in the permafrost here, way up in the mountains. And I got the advance warning there for a 25 mile per hour speed restriction because of the pretty sharp curves up ahead. And to reduce speed, I'm going to let the grade do most of the work, as you'll see. So my speed is continuing to drop even though I'm in notch 8. And I know that the speed restriction starts when this S-curve reaches its end. So it's going to go left and then it's going to swing right. And it's going to drop to 25 miles per hour when it swings right. So I have to time my reduction of power just right. And here I've already dropped the throttle to notch 1. And as you'll see, I'm actually being too conservative, because the speed is dropping even more rapidly than I thought it would. And so I'm going to get down to 25 long before I reach the curve. In real life, of course, this could make me a minute or two late. As I said, I haven't practiced this route very thoroughly yet. So I'm going to have to notch my throttle back up to maintain speed, actually. So from notch 6. And that should hold it pretty well. And when it gets back up to 25, I can drop it back to 5 again. Notice I've switched the sander on also, just to be on the safe side. So the speed limit's dropped to 25. And I'm entering this pretty sharp curve here. Finally, I got another 1 mile an hour there. I've switched the sander off. Now, when you get further up the line there, it's possible to look back along the train over the curve. It depends on how good your timing is in getting the exterior view and twirling around. In reality, in real life, that's against regulations to look back out of a moving train. At least if your head's out the window anyway. But this is only a simulator. And of course, in real life, you don't have the external views. Not with current technology anyway, maybe in the future with drones. But see, we're not far enough around the curve yet, so my timing is wrong. I can see a piece of the train there, but nowhere close to its full length. Now, of course, one other use of the external view is to see your signals and your curves a little bit better, because the way the cab is simulated views-wise is not perfect by any means. In real life, it's obviously possible to see out a little bit better. Now, that's the length of the train. That gives you a better idea. Still not perfect, you can't actually see the end, but it is a 100-car train, of course. Now, I'm coming pretty close to Summit Yard. I've got the train up to 25 miles an hour, so I've dropped the throttle back to notch 5. I've lost 1 mile an hour again, down to 24. So back up to notch 6 on the throttle. I doubt that a real railroad engineer would be this meticulous. Normally they try to keep the speed within 2 miles an hour, but 1 mile an hour, probably not. Oh, we're getting closer and closer. We've got another set of signals here. Milepost 205. And we're back up to 25 miles an hour again. Taking the external view here because I'm a little bit confused about whether I'm close to summit or not. I thought I was. 205 is awfully close. Actually, it's within 1 mile to be accurate because milepost 206 is in the yard. So I have less than a mile to go, really. Should be right around the curve. But as you'll see, this run will continue into the next video because it takes so long to slow a freight train down and stop it that I will actually end this video in the yard in the process of deceleration, and the next part I know for a fact will be at least 4 minutes long. "25 miles an hour again. Not exactly highballing, but I wouldn't even be going 25 forever, of course, because we can see the tower coming up for summit. So I'll be entering the yard, and as I said, it is going to take a while to get the speed down and pull to a stop at the other end of the yard. The train will fill up pretty much the whole yard, or at least the whole length of the yard, because the yard is about a mile long. There's milepost 206, and by the time we reach the other end, it would be de facto milepost 207, although I have not actually put in a milepost 207. Now, notice also the speed jumped up to 26 miles an hour briefly there. So I've eased the throttle back to notch 1, and already I'm losing speed because the rear end of the train is still on the grade, and that would constitute most of it, actually. I designed the yard to be flat, even if that's not 100% prototypical for real railway yards, even though they want them to be flat. They obviously are not perfectly flat usually. But this one is perfectly flat, and so that reduction in speed you see is not due to the grade, it's just due to the grade before the yard, as well as rolling drag, of course, which is simulated in or on trains. And this is a very long train, or at least it's long by world standards. As I said earlier, it's not really long for the US. We're down to 19 miles per hour, and once I get close to the end, you'll see that I put the brakes on, but from speeds under 20 miles an hour, even a train of this size, as simulated in or on Trainz anyway, stops respectably quickly. I don't know if that's really accurate. I think it might be a little bit too optimistic, but I'm running out of time, so we'll have to finish this in the next video, as planned.